Hey there, everybody, and welcome back to Utility Sports. Today, we have more head coaching news. The Atlanta Falcons have offered their head coaching position to Arthur Smith. He is going to be the Atlanta Falcons' next head coach. He has been the offensive coordinator for the Tennessee Titans the last 2 years. Obviously, those are the 2 years that we saw Derrick Henry really break out. Ryan Tannehill also emerged as a really, really solid QB in this league. Arthur Smith deserves a lot of the credit for those two players coming out. Obviously, Henry is a beast. I'm not trying to take it away from Henry either, but Arthur Smith has really opened up that offense, really committed to running the football there in Tennessee. Now it comes to Atlanta. There's going to be a little bit to monitor here with this. To me, it makes it seem like Matt Ryan could be safe, at least for this first year. I don't think an offensive coordinator coming in at head coach would want to move on from a veteran that's proven right away. I think that even if they do draft a QB, Matt Ryan will be there this season as the starting quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons. One thing that I really think is worth watching is that running back position. Obviously, Todd Gurley is not under contract for next season and signed a one-year deal with Atlanta this past year. What they are going to do with that running back spot will be very interesting to me. There's a whole collection of running backs that can go in the top 3 rounds that I think would be good additions for Atlanta. They might look at the free agency market, trying to add one that way. Obviously, you can't duplicate Derrick Henry. You're not going to get another runner like him, so it's going to be interesting to see how Arthur Smith really goes about putting together this football team, especially that offense. They still need to get better on the defensive side of the ball as well. Could use another linebacker, could use an edge rusher really badly, and a cornerback, I guess, could be a pretty solid need there as well for Atlanta. They have to improve in a lot of different areas. Also, Julio Jones, what's going to happen with him? I haven't given that much thought yet after the Falcons have made this offer to Arthur Smith, but I think he'll be probably back in Atlanta. It's hard to see them getting the value they'd want for his production, especially at his age. I don't think teams are going to be lining up to give up a high-level pick for him, even with how great he is. So I think that the Falcons are going to be in a spot where they just don't feel like it's actually worth moving on from Julio. I think he'll be back. Him and Calvin Ridley are still one of the best 1-2 punches in the NFL at that receiver position. They need to figure out the running back spot. I think Matt Ryan will be back. Arthur Smith has some talent there. Hayden Hurst also at tight end. They need to improve on that offensive line a little bit yet. There's just some places that they need to get better. Arthur Smith's going to have a little bit of a challenge ahead of him, improving that roster, improving that team to get it to where Tennessee's roster was as a whole. Obviously, Tennessee's defense very filled out other than that edge spot. And I think that Arthur Smith's going to be a guy that could come in, fill in some of those needs. Now, an interesting thing is obviously Arthur Smith did not have a good game plan going into Baltimore. They only scored 13 points in that game. Did not look good. Obviously, that did not affect his candidacy for a lot of teams. It looks like Atlanta was in on him. Detroit was in on him. Philadelphia was even interested. Atlanta comes away with him. I think that this is actually a pretty solid hire. I'm not sure if this is a game-changing hire for Atlanta, though. I think that is a little problematic. Guys like Joe Brady were out there, Eric Bieniemy. Atlanta must have had a feeling that Eric Bieniemy was going to choose a different location. And now we're kind of seeing the dust settle in some areas. Houston's job vacancy is still open. Eric Bieniemy could possibly go there to be with Deshaun Watson. Also, Philadelphia is an opening, and the Detroit Lions. So there's a few different places that some of these top-end coordinators and candidates could look to go. Obviously, Marvin Lewis is still out there as well. There's just quite a few options for a bunch of different teams on which way they'd prefer to go yet, even with some of these guys flying off the board like Urban Meyer, Robert Saleh to my New York Jets, and the Atlanta Falcons now grabbing Arthur Smith. I think this is a good hire. The Titans are going to have to fill in that offensive coordinator spot. I think a big part of their interview process for that is either they're going to keep it in-house and bring in someone who's either like the running back coach there or possibly the quarterback coach, or they're going to look on the outside and try and find someone who is going to be a run-heavy offense, someone who's going to give the ball to Derrick Henry, run a lot of play action off of that. I think that they'll find a replacement for Arthur Smith. I think that they'll still be successful. Now it's up to Arthur Smith to really make the Falcons click, help them grow as a team. They need to get better on that roster, but they also need to come out and perform. They had a lot of late-game leads that they choked away this year. Arthur Smith's going to have to come in, not only improve that team in terms of technique, roster ability, and so on, but he's also going to have to manage the game well. That's something we haven't gotten to see from him yet necessarily because he's never been a head coach. Is he going to be able to do that for the Atlanta Falcons? I sure hope so. this has been the video, guys. If you did enjoy, please hit that like button. Please subscribe, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.